it into an iPad. This is done to do as cool as possible. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Thank you. Hello, how are you? So how
Why are you doing this?
So it's bit.ly/1Q9OK3C.
Did you say you can't find Safari?
Can I update the Google Plus?
just like the others? Yeah, that's fair.
And then once you enter the URL, you'll be on a web page. You just find Tech Talk Survey. Yeah, just this. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, I navigated to the web address.
oh, she had it on there for me. Yeah.
So what do you want me to do? Navigate to.
So I guess she's been around to change before.
That's interesting. You know, I came too. That's fun. Oh, exactly. Yeah. How's that go?
You want it back when it's a survey?
No, I haven't.
All right, I guess we'll get started. Has everyone had the chance to fill out that survey? Thank you for humoring me there. So hi, I'm Andrew Mantuano. I am the Outreach and Education Coordinator in LITS, and thank you for joining us today. There's a lot of us, but I'd still like to go around the room and have you introduce yourselves. So if you wouldn't mind, just go around and share your name and which department you come from. I say house because I'm in full-on Game of Thrones mode right now. So we can start from over here. I'm sorry. We can actually start over there.
Hi, I'm Liz McCormick. I'm from the Physics Department and the Provost Office.
I'm Mark Macklin, also in the physics.
Hello, I'm Najim Wade, Graduate School of Social Work.
I'm Celeste Wagner from Dining Services. I'm Deb Martinez. I work in Dining Services and Walmart.
Laura Henrich and I work at Nellie.
Elaine Robinson, social work.
Jenny Dunn, social work.
Diane Grill, Health Professions Advising Office, the Postback Office.
Patty Lausch, International Advising at Pensby Center. Maddie Cantor, Dance Program. Angela Dowdy, Arts Program. Carrie Robinson, Special Collection.
I'm Paul Hintz, I'm in Science Services. David Karen, Sociology and Google.
Chuck Hader from the Dean's Office.
Amy Myers from math.
Melissa Lerner, College Communication.
Jim Martin from Social Work.
Margaret Kelly, on Archaeology and Cities.
Marie Whitman, Treasurer's Office. Beth Seltzer, Educational Technology.
Chris Boylan, also education technology. And since Beth and I have already been using 365, Office 365, we've been your guinea pigs.
Yes,
We
thank you.
can tell you winter is coming.
Shannon Diaz, Jennifer Orr, student slash Liz. Elizabeth Riley, Liz.
Cool. That wasn't too bad. All right. So a week or so ago, we noticed that the attendance for this tech talk was particularly high. Jenny Spohr made the joke that, "Oh, Andrew, you're the most popular speaker on campus." I thought, "Oh, I guess the topic has something to do with it, but that's okay." So Office 365, it's a new tool. It is a change. So with that, I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent. So this past weekend on Sunday, I went over to my grandmother's house to mow her lawn. Little did I know that she didn't have one of those fancy gas-powered mowers. Rather, I used the real push mower. She hadn't cut her lawn all year. Luckily, I had my 10-year-old niece to help me. And while we were cutting the lawn, there was a guy riding his riding mower across the street, looking at us, kind of laughing every time he rode by. And my niece was like, what's up with that? So I just told her, we're getting a great workout and some blisters too. That's actually where it's from. And that's what her lawn looked like. But to continue on with this odd metaphor. So, in the world of email and calendar, Zimbra is pretty darn okay. It gets the job done most of the time. It doesn't have many bells and whistles. And there is some kind of manual maintenance and work on the administrative side. In comes Office 365, which is more or less the Rolls-Royce of email and calendar and lawnmowers. So it's a state-of-the-art email and calendar tool, but also a full-featured business productivity suite, which we'll touch on a bit later. So it does have the bells and whistles. It reduces the amount of manual work we need to do to administer it on campus. So there are lots of pluses, which we'll touch on and hopefully convert David to the School of Microsoft. Before we jump into anything else, just a reminder that on May 20th at 5 p.m., that's a Friday, you will not have access to email until Sunday, May 22nd at 9 a.m. So view it as a vacation from email. Hopefully,
Say that again, the date.
it's May 20th at 5 p.m. until Sunday at 9 a.m., May 22nd. And we're going to send a lot more reminders leading up to that date, so you won't miss it. In the same vein, we have a pre- and post-migration checklist posted to our tech documentation. So not all aspects of your Zimbra experience will automatically migrate. The most important things will, your mail, all your calendar appointments, that sort. But some things like your preferences will not migrate over. If you use Zimbra Briefcase, that will not. Filters, contacts, things like that. We mentioned in an announcement last week, and we'll probably mention it again. But if you want to be proactive about it, go to Let's Tech Documentation and search for the checklist and check it out. So before we jump into the demo or anything else, I thought it'd be helpful to kind of give you a layout of all the different components of Office 365. So we really call this the email and calendar project, but there's much more that comes with Office 365 than email and calendar. So an understanding of what the components are and how they work together synergistically, I think is a good thing to understand as we move forward. So first off is the Outlook web app. So when you think about Zimbra, that is parallel in features to the Outlook web app. So we have mail, calendar, people, which is address book, and tasks in OA. Office Online is it offers 4 of the most popular Microsoft Office applications on the web. They're light versions, so they don't have all of the fancy features that the full-fledged desktop versions have. But if you need to create a document on the go, share it with someone else, and even work in collaboration with someone in real time, you can do that with Office Online. OneDrive for Business. This is kind of a new kind of tool for our community. So it's online cloud storage. It's Microsoft's professional branch of it. There's the OneDrive for kind of regular consumers. This is totally different. You'll have 1 terabyte of storage to use. A side note to this, has everyone read the data handling policy that was sent out? So there are certain types of data that are appropriate to store in OneDrive and some types that aren't. So just make sure you're cognizant of that when you're uploading things to OneDrive. In addition to those 3, there's also additional synergies here. So for mobile, you can also sync your email and calendar to Office 365. The syncing process is actually simplified. You just type in your email and password and it just goes. You don't have to type in any of that other fancy stuff. Also relating to the data handling policy, if you sync your data to your phone, you now need to lock it with a PIN or password. That's in the policy. Also on mobile, you have Office for mobile. There's a lot of different things here. So with that, you can create documents, edit them, and store them directly to your OneDrive. You can also work collaboratively on your mobile device. I'm not sure how many people will actually want to create a Word document or a presentation on their phone, but if you want to, the option's there, and it's kind of cool. Like when I was a kid, I always wanted one of those like handheld TVs, but it's just not practical. Also, Windows 10 and Office 2016. Once we cascade everyone over to Windows 10, you'll be able to sync to your OneDrive directly from your desktop. So within the Windows File Explorer, there will be a folder called OneDrive, and you just have to drag things over to that, and it'll sync automatically to the cloud. And with Office 2016, the full-fledged desktop versions, you'll be able to save directly to OneDrive and also collaborate in real time with other people. Any questions on that?
What's the relationship between OneDrive and Dropbox? Do they serve the same purpose?
They are both cloud storage platforms. One interfaces with the Microsoft Suite, which is OneDrive, and Dropbox does not. So OneDrive will be the college-supported cloud storage tool. We will not be advocating for the use of Dropbox.
Right, but anything I use that's in Word or whatever, it would play the same role, essentially. That, you know, on whatever computer I open,
right,
I can get access.
Exactly. So that's a good point. If you have used cloud storage platforms in the past, such as OneDrive, or if you've used collaborative online tools like Google Docs, these features are parallel to that. So it'll be a similar experience, just with a different interface.
Does it copy the OneDrive onto your hard disk on your laptop?
If you sync it, it does. That's a good point. So since the file storage limit in OneDrive is 1 terabyte, most computers nowadays have a terabyte or more in their hard drive. But if you sync your OneDrive to your computer, and your computer doesn't have a terabyte of space, and you have more than a terabyte, or you have a terabyte of storage in your OneDrive, then there'll be issues. Sorry if that was wonky.
So can you sync by file, or you have to sync all or nothing?
I believe you have to sync all or nothing once you set up that sync between Windows and OneDrive. But you don't have to do that. You can just use a web interface to upload your files to OneDrive that way.
And we'll still have access to our normal shared drive for departments.
Right, I would just bring that up
And
too.
I mean, would that still be the recommended primary place to store it?
Yeah, if your current process is to use the network file storage that we currently provide, so the S or H drives, that sort, we still recommend using that. We don't have any plans right now to change that in any way, but there could be ways to improve your workflow by using OneDrive. For instance, now you can send attachments from OneDrive. So there's the attachment file size limits in Zimbra, which was like 30 megabytes or so. In the Outlook web app, it's 125 megabytes. That still might not be enough storage, or it might not be enough for you to send a huge video file to someone else. So with OneDrive, you can actually send a link in your email to the file in OneDrive. So it's essentially sharing it with someone, but in an attachment format. So there are certain things like that that could improve your process. Any other questions before we move on?
Can I just add, I just looked it up and you can sync certain folders on OneDrive, and you can choose which folders you want to sync. So
Cool.
if you have a certain large font.
Thanks, Beth. All right. Any other questions? All right, so now I have talked for like 15 minutes or so. Would you guys talk to each other? So, humor me here. So usually when you get a new, I was trying to analogize getting a new job with getting a new service. So there are similar things. So I want you guys to talk to each other. There's going to be 3 questions here. So name something that you enjoyed about the Zimbra experience, and I relate this to not bashing your previous or current employer when you're trying to get a new job. So you want to think about the positives. Look on the bright side. What is a Zimbra feature you use frequently? So you want to be able to leverage those skills that you've had in your new position. So you've used Zimbra, you know how to use it. Think about how you can continue to use those skills. And what features are you most excited about? This question is like how are you going to thrive here? Like what can you do for me type question. So go ahead and take a few minutes to talk to your neighbor, people around you about these questions, and we'll report back. No, we're going to use them again. All right, let's bring it back to the larger group. All right, so what's something that people enjoyed about Zimbra? And don't all raise your hands at once.
Shared mailbox.
Okay. That's a feature that we'll have in Office 365 as well. Autocomplete.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
We're working on a robust solution for that at the moment, and we'll get back to you guys about that. The global address list still exists in Office 365. It just works a little bit differently. Anything else people appreciate about Zimbra?
The folders.
Folders?
Calendar.
Okay. Maria?
Well, I use Briefcase quite often. Partly, well, to share documents with third parties, and sometimes just to share huge documents that I couldn't send by email.
Right.
And so that I didn't use.
Cool.
And the fact that it wasn't the female product we had before Zenra.
So we're progressively getting better.
Yes, we've gotten better over the years.
Cool. And with OneDrive, you can share files with people outside of the Bryn Mawr community as well, which you'll see later. Okay, any Zimbra features that you've used frequently that you hope will also be able to continue to use that were different than what was just mentioned? I know we just talked about that.
I use folders a lot, so
Yeah.
organize things.
Good. Okay. All right.
Sending scheduled emails.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
What was that? Schedule?
Sending scheduled emails.
Oh.
At a certain time.
Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah, that too. Actually, there's no like native way to do that in OA, but we have the Boomerang add-on that we're supporting, which allows you to do that. Okay, any features that you're really excited about that were maybe laid out when we're talking about the roadmap?
So if you're in a web page, or say in an Excel file, or whatever other application, and there's a link for an email address, I want to be able to click the link and have it open, where I can send that email.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
We've done extensive research into that, and that's not something Microsoft offers. However, no. At least right now for this Outlook tool. And it's good to mention that Microsoft is continuously updating Office 365 with improvements. So it's definitely something we've requested that they do, and other institutions undoubtedly.
But when you click on it in Excel, it'll say open with Outlook.
Right, so it's set to open in Outlook by default. There's just no way to set it to open up in Firefox and direct it to your Outlook accounts on the web. Sorry. Anything else positive that you're looking forward to using? That's cool. Hopefully we'll see something during the demo. That's positive. All right. So let me log out of here and we'll jump into showing you some cool things. So right now I'm going to go to office.com to log in, but when you log in, it's going to be the same URL you currently use, so webmail.brynmawr.edu. And I'm going to use a test account.
Do you have to open it in a web page, or do you open it on a standalone program?
We're pushing people to use the Outlook web app in your browser. So it's a web-based email. You have the option of using the Outlook clients. However, we're only recommending you use the client for very specific purposes. Otherwise, the Outlook web app really does everything we feel people will need to do to be productive. Okay, so one other change, you'll just have to put the @brynmawr.edu when you're logging in. And you saw the beautiful start page that we have. So this is the Office 365 homepage. When you log in, this is the first thing you'll see. Right here you see all of they're called app tiles that you have access to. You can navigate to any of them by clicking on them from the homepage. You can also, customize your theme here. This gear is the settings button. You'll probably become familiar with that very quickly. So just as a fun example, you can change your theme. Some of them are animated. There's a cat one that I'll stick with now. And you can also set your landing page to be something different. If you want, when you log in, for mail to be the first thing you see, you can set it to be that way too. So when I think about the OA or the Office 365 interface, it's kind of a translation of the Windows interface. So you have this, it's called the App Launcher. I call it the Belgian waffle up here. Very similar to the Start button in Windows. If you click on it, you'll see all of the tiles you have access to again. And the waffle is present in all Office 365 apps. So you'll be able to pivot between different applications very easily. You can also pin up to 3 apps that you routinely use to the nav bar, which I'll do now. And that just inserts a little icon over here on the right. So another way to get where you want to go. You can also set a profile picture. Mine is the Astronaut Sloth, since it's a test account. All right, any questions about the homepage?
Why the different colors? Do they have some significance?
In the app tiles? Right, so the tiles that are in this theme, that are this color, up top at least, are these are the Outlook web apps. So actually, the only ones that have significance are the Office Online apps. They're their usual Microsoft colors that they assign to them. Sway, this is here that it won't be in the final version, so disregard that. But Delve, I didn't talk about this yet. It's a search tool, and I'll open it up now actually, just to give you a preview. So it works to pretty much allow you to search through all the documents you have access to. So if you have a lot of different documents that you share out and are shared with you and you need to locate them quickly, you can use Delve for that purpose. And I have not used it much. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the home page just to mention, because I didn't before, that you have the ability to download Office 2016 Professional Plus on up to 5 personal computers. We're asking you not to download it on your work computer when you have access to it. We'll get to you. If you download it before then, we can't guarantee that it'll work, and we can't fix it for you. So just please be patient and download it for your personal computer if you want to get a preview. Alright, so let's jump into mail. All right, so this is the kind of default layout. You have 3 columns. On the left side are all of your folders. Middle is your message list, and if you choose to have one, you can have your reading pane on the right side, down below, or not at all. So something to note. By default, when you log in, you'll have your favorites listed on the left here. And these are just the folders that you access the most. You can change that around. And if you click on More, it'll show all of the folders you have access to, including any shared mailboxes. So shared folders or mailboxes. So I have folders that I've shared with myself here.
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm trying to get rid of clutter now. If you have a clutter.
Clutter?
Yeah, what is that?
Okay, so clutter is something, again, that's new, a new way of thinking. So it's a Microsoft's way of sorting your email that you don't necessarily want to block or delete, but maybe want to look at later. So anything like mailing lists that you belong to, listservs, promotions. If you guys use Gmail, they have the tabular formats where it has the promotions and social stuff. So it's kind of like that. If you have something that you don't necessarily want to be clogging up your main inbox, but you do want to read later, you can just move it to clutter, and Microsoft's algorithm will learn what you want to be in clutter and what you don't want it to be. You can turn it off if that's scary to you. It's really easy to do that, but it is an option. It's something that's new.
In Outlook, you can,
Yeah.
in Outlook, you can actually set it up to say I want this email to go here or this email to
Right.
here. So you have the same function.
Yep. So in Zimbra, it was called filters. In Outlook, it's called rules. It's exactly the same thing. Just to note that, I think I mentioned this before, but rules or filters will not migrate if you have them set up in Zimbra. So make sure if you want to retain those, just write them down, take a screenshot of them, and set them up once the transition is completed. So actually, to demo clutter, let's see. I went through and signed up for a few mailing lists for this purpose before. So I have Kate Spade. So yeah, I want to read that later. So I'll just move it over to clutter. So now the next time I receive an email from Kate Spade, Microsoft will hopefully have learned that I want it to go to my clutter folder. Same thing with Taylor Nation, the Taylor Swift mailing list. Cool. So in addition to clutter, there are some organizational tools that are similar to what you might have used in Zimbra. So has anyone used tags in Zimbra? So just color coding your messages. Very similar function in the Outlook web app called categories. So right here I have a category called Office 365, and I have these 2 messages tagged as that. You can set up a rule even to automatically categorize a message as a specific category when it comes in, if you would like. You can pin messages to keep them at the top of your inbox. It's a kind of an ad hoc way of organizing things, which is cool. And if you flag a message, mark it as important, it actually creates a task for that message, and it adds it to your task list. So I'll show. So that's the message I just tagged, this one. So if I unflag it, it'll be removed from the task list. That's pretty cool. Another way to quickly purge specific emails, there's a feature called Sweep, which is actually, it's very powerful and thus very dangerous. I was testing it before, and I accidentally deleted all the emails I had from Juliana Perry, who's the project manager, and I haven't figured out how to undelete them yet, so that's that. So be careful. But I sent myself a bunch of emails from my Gmail accounts, and they're right here. So hey, do you mind if I keep emailing you? I hope this isn't annoying. It is. If it is, you can use Sweep. So if I select a message, click on Sweep, and there it is. So from email received from this address, I can delete all messages, or I can just block it in general. So I don't want to block it. I'll just press Sweep, and it will sweep all of them away. So That's another cool feature.
And you're saying you can't access them afterwards?
They go to your deleted messages box, and I suppose I could have recovered all of them. There was a lot of email in there. On that note, so recovering deleted messages, that process has changed a bit. So since all of our messages are now in the cloud, if you delete a message, you can recover it yourself. So once you delete a message, it goes to your deleted messages, your box, your trash can. After a certain period of time, it goes to the dumpster, where it's held for an additional period of time. But after, I believe it's 30 days or so, it's not recoverable at all. So just keep that in mind. After you delete something, it's on its way to the compactor. Yeah, the landfill to be burned. Okay. Let's see. Any questions about mail?
Andrew, is there a way to sweep according to date?
No. We're trying to figure out if there's a way to run filters or rules, which sweeps are essentially rules, to retroactively. We haven't figured out how to do that yet, but there are searches you can run to do that, or at least to search for all of those messages you might want in a date range, and then sorts by sender. So it's a little bit more roundabout, but you can accomplish it. On that note, I didn't showcase search yet. So if you spend a lot of time searching for emails, there's a simple search. You can just type in any terms there. There's also something called advanced query search terms, and it sounds fancy. It's not. We have a tech doc that outlines all of these, kind of the syntax of the language, making it sound really convoluted. But so if you type, for instance, from, : and I'll type this Jancy again. So that'll give you the ability to be more granular in your searches. And you can combine multiple AQS keywords to get really down in the weeds.
So could you do from Juliana Perry and check your sweep folder?
I could. It would pull up all, yeah. Well, I'll try it out. Okay. Any other questions about mail before we move on to calendar? Okay.
I do have a question about filters.
Sure.
Because I have two identities, and I don't know whether it's a filter or whether there's something else that you call it, because I get online registrations and they go to my one identity, but I get them in my personal.
So is it another mailbox that you access?
No, they're the one and the same. One just puts it into mine. I don't know how it was done.
Talk to me afterwards. Yeah. That might be something we can consult with you about.
Okay. Because it's very important, because if I don't get those, then I don't get registrations for courses.
Right. Okay. That brings up a good point. We are offering small group consultations for instances just like that. If there is a potential change to a business process due to the transition, Lit staff will come to you and we'll talk about a solution for that. So if you have that type of need, email the help desk with your request. And here is the calendar. Okay, so say I want to view multiple calendars at once. I can do that just by selecting the calendars here on the left. They even have a built-in birthday calendar, so you have no excuse for forgetting people's birthdays. And you don't have to rely on Facebook, which is great. And say you want to have view the calendars in a different way. The views are right here on the right side and are quickly toggleable. Something that is, I believe, not in Zimbra is you have the ability to show a bunch of calendars by day and split them out so you just see them in columns side by side. And you can then easily remerge those. Same functionality. You can create new calendars if you need them. You can share your calendars with others. Calendar delegation is still a feature. something I did want to show you in Mail, so sorry to backtrack, but it's related to calendar. So there's we mentioned Boomerang, which is kind of an add-on that allows you to send mail in the future, but Boomerang also lets you, it sets up a reminder. So say I send an email to Marion, and if she hasn't replied in 2 days, I can set Boomerang to tell me. Like, it pings me, hey, she hasn't replied, maybe you should reach out to her again. So that's something that is an add-on. In addition to that, there is Find Time. So this is really handy for those of you who have to schedule meetings with large groups of people. Very similar to Doodle or what is that? When is Good, those types of tools. So if I click on add-ons and then Find Time, it's not set up yet, but you essentially select times, send them out to the group, and then they vote on the meeting time. Yeah. All right.
Andrew, did you say we can already download it on our personal? Or there's a certain date by which?
Oh, the Office 365 or Office? Yeah. The after. I'm sorry. No, you won't be able to download it.
Until May time.
Right. After the transition. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to OneDrive.
Andrew,
Yep.
on the calendars, can one import, say, Google calendars?
You can import calendars from the internet, yes, but they won't automatically update. So you would have to continue to keep importing that calendar every time you wanted the most up-to-date version.
And would it overwrite or does it add?
I would imagine it would overwrite it if it's coming from the same location. So, yeah. All right, so this is OneDrive. So you can either upload files to your OneDrive by the traditional way, or you can drag and drop them. So if I have these files here and they're on my computer, I can just select them, move them to OneDrive, and they're there. Or no, they're not.
Actually, I'm still a little like. So really, this would be for work that you're working together with somebody, right?
Doesn't have to. I mean, you can use OneDrive to store things that you're just working on personally.
I know you can, but I don't see the benefit of doing that if all my regular files are still in the shared drive.
Well, I think it comes in handy if you're working, let's say, I am on my phone, I'm on the train, and I'm working on a Word documents. It's kind of a pain. I've tried to sign into the VPN using my phone, and it's pretty ugly.
Right.
So I can save it right to OneDrive from my phone, and it's there.
But you wouldn't put like archive. You wouldn't put all your files. It's just like
No, it's
that you want to work on. Then.
Yeah. The way I think of it is, like, if you've used Briefcase just to store files on there, it's very similar in that way. Thinking about it, it's not going to replace your network storage. It could be more convenient than logging into the VPN at times, and especially if you are sharing documents and collaborating with others. Okay, there are different views, so you can look at things as tiles or the list, which we just saw. You can sort them. If you're working on like Microsoft Office files with others that are saved to OneDrive, you can see who made changes to them. So I'll pull up this Tech Talk here, and I'll click on the information. See the recent activity.
And this is where you share it from too. It's right here.
Yeah, you can share it from OneDrive or from the Office Online app that you're using. And I'm glad you brought that up. So if I wanted to share this Tech Talk file, I could just right-click, share. And this invite people line here, that's for internal community members. It'll go straight to them. If you want to share, let's say I want to share with your colleague from Haverford, you can generate a link for them that doesn't require a sign-in and that they can edit it. So then they just click on the link, do their thing, and it's as easy as that. We haven't thought about that. I don't think we will, for that concern. Yeah, that's a good question. All right, so since these are kind of the exercise files we're going to work on, we only have about 15 minutes left, but I did want to show you Excel surveys. So has anyone used Google surveys before? Very similar functionality. You have the ability to create a survey and link it to a spreadsheet or a workbook on your OneDrive. So that's exactly what I did with the survey that you took at the beginning of this talk. And all of your answers populated right to this on my OneDrive. And I have this graph that I created preemptively, and it looks like people do play karaoke? No. Wow. Okay. Didn't expect that. But I know. I was going to ask you guys when I go karaoke after this. I guess not. So that's how easy it is to create a quick survey, send it out, and get the results. Moving on to Office Online. Actually, any other questions on OneDrive before we get to Office Online? Okay. So, like I said, Office Online, you have access to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. If you would, could you open up your iPads again? And hopefully you're still on that URL. If you're not, we'll open up your browser and click on the back button. And hopefully that'll take you to go to the bit.ly link again.
Mine's completely entered pass.
I'll bring it up.
You mean the end of the survey and the next page?
So go back to this one. Yeah. You guys all have the page again?
Well, this is what it really is.
Okay.
I'm curious to know.
So,
To Tri-Code Libraries or Research Code?
yep, that's the page you should be on. So I divided you into groups to test out the different Office Online apps. It's a very ugly chart, so bear with me. All right, so it's alphabetical. So based on your group, there's a corresponding file on the page. So it should say like Group 1A Word. If you're in that group, click on that link. Sorry. Yeah, you're 1B. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things from the bottom.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Enter your name somewhere in the document. Right.
work around getting you guys to do
I don't even know how to open a Word document on here.
Can you select
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He is coming on Saturday, November 1st.
Yikes. We have Nelly, the 20th and the 21st.
That'll be prioritized.
So, if Margie wants to do a PowerPoint, she logs in with her username and password.
Right.
You can do that.
They'll be able to get into the computer systems. They just need to go get an email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's all. They
Okay.
were using a PowerPoint.
Sorry, scary. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And then it goes out. Should be able to like.
That's a little tricky on the tablet. How do you know?
Is there a
There's no possibility. I know, usually maybe there's a limit. When I started, right, so maybe.
Somebody else writing this at the same time as me. It must be.
well, it says 8 times 6 should be 56. Calculate 8 times 7
Oh, that's what that's
by
what-
typing 8 times 6. Okay.
Yeah.
So does equal 8 times 6 actually equal 8 times 7? This is a new identity.
All right, so we're winding down. We have a few minutes left. You can keep playing around in Office Online if you'd like. I do want to ask if there are any other questions about anything we talked about today or about the transition in general.
Are there going to be any hands-on trainings?
Yes. So starting on May 24th, we are offering in-classroom classes on topics such as the basics of Office 365 and also sharing, using the collaborative tools. And yeah, check out the LITS blog post. Just type in learning opportunities and it'll give you a list of all of the classes we're offering and with links to register.
The students have access to all the features that we do.
Yep, they will.
Could we go back to that little exercise you had us do before and have you recruit us to this new job?
Oh yeah, sure. You looking for a job, David?
No, I want you to be the recruiter and tell me why I want to leave my current job.
Why you want to leave Zimbra?
From Google.
Oh.
Why?
That was this entire presentation, David. That was I was trying to sell you. All right.
I don't know how to get back to this being terminated.
I think that's the incentive.
Great. It's, yeah.
So wait, that's sort of shame. That's about me. Come on, Andrew, this is too much.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I didn't make it particularly.
So ordinarily we would say this.
You say it's all that.
Outside.
I can look at the
I
trail.
don't know how. And everyone else in my group was typing at the same time as me, so the words got all jumbled up, and I thought I was making typographical errors, and I wasn't.
So,
Yeah, I guess that'd be good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna take it out.
I always wanted to try.
Yeah, you haven't used it?
No, I've never used one.
I mean, we have a Surface Pro. It's completely different than that.
Oh.
Like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
That'll probably work well with Office 365.
My daughter has a
Yeah, we'll have one.
But there, if it is collaborative, there's still no way to track changes. That's what I said. That's relative to 6 months. And you had all of that stuff in the
No,
I said, yeah. I said, check it out. I said, just got the bills very yeah, today. So I think that, you know, on 20th is Friday, so anyways, quick presentation. Andrew, I think your pictures
No, I mean, it takes me 2 steps ahead of where I say this. And even they take it on there are 2 steps on applications where they May 20th. Where's that date coming from?
And she said, okay, but I have international. I don't know. It's all different. It's very different shops. My friend told me it was October. No, so there's a normal. So I'm sitting so much out there.
So the web app, there's it's confusing. Good time. Microsoft is kind of making sense. So we're going to put people to this one.
That is said for
Postbacks for Brad. That came out in the